I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
Colby and Chip. Speaking of Colby.
Colby in the house.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Colby. You're one of our friends. That's the only reason you ever beat me in that.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you. This song is for the big homie Chris Colt. Birthday's coming up soon. It's Tuesday, but he's celebrating over the weekend, so.
Oh, okay, well.
This song is called by The Devil Wears Prada. If you want to check us out with timely topical political commentary, you can check us out at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
Or behind the scenes, you want to see our family, My Sori Life. Also, tomorrow is our baby shower. That's at 3 o'clock. There's still a few things left on the registry if anyone's interested.
Right.
That'll be in the description on this video.
That's right.
But we are going to open up what we have.
That's right.
Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Go ahead, Brother Minister.
Okay.
Okay, this song is called by The Devil Wears Prada. Let's do it.
Go.
Okay. Plagues. So what did you think?
I didn't know what the beginning was about. The verse 1. Verse 2, I was assuming was talking about a woman and her teeth behind her lips. Then he was saying fear of beauty. But then she was just a figment of his imagination. She wasn't really there. He called her insomnia. Right? Didn't it say he called her? I decided to name her insomnia.
Yeah.
So is it just a part of himself that comes to himself and he...
Yeah. This is kind of like
romanticizes her?
there was a... What's that Slipknot song? And it was about a relationship, and at the end he kept saying, "You're not real," or "She wasn't real," or something. Maybe he was like imagining that she was a certain type of person, but then it turned out that she wasn't type of person, and then that was the end of their...
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is...
could be.
Which is always interesting. There was it a movie we just watched where somebody said something like, "Oh, it was Game of Thrones," where somebody said to Tyrion, like, "I didn't know he was gonna be like this," or something like that, and Tyrion said, "Yes, you did."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's always like a running debate, like, are people really like blindsided by relationships when they don't work out? When he says she was only a fiction, like, is that him admitting that he was denying the reality of what he saw in front of his face the entire time?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like very rarely do people do things that surprise you in a relationship, especially when it doesn't work out.
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about that before, like where even, some of the discussions that we were having today. And I was saying there's certain things that I've said in previous relationships, like, do not ever let this happen, where I never said that with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you kind of know what you're walking into, so you're like, you kind of know what the person's going to be like, so then you're like, don't ever do this.
Yeah, but there's other things where I think would be deal breakers if I was not done with in our relationship.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have entered the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I think if I was caught up in that again, you would say, well, it's that or me. Like, I don't think you'd stay. I don't think you'd deal with it. I don't think because, it was how random it was. Like, oh, phone call. I have to go. Where are you going? On the planet. Like, I don't think that you would. I maybe you're not saying it now, but I don't think that you would stay. I think you would force the issue. I think you'd say, well, you can do that, or we can be together, but I can't do this anymore.
I don't know. You may think that you know what I would do in that situation. I really... I don't know.
I think there's what you want to say and what you would actually happen.
I don't think that I could leave you, though.
No, I don't think you'd leave. I just think you'd create situations in which it was obvious that I had to choose between one and the other.
Yeah,
That's
but
happened.
what if you chose the other one?
It's happened before.
What if you chose the other one?
Yeah. I wouldn't... Well...
If you chose the other one, you think I'd leave?
No, I wouldn't choose the other job over you. But if I did, you'd leave. You wouldn't stay. I don't think you'd stay. And some of it just has to do with... Well, most relationships in those circumstances don't last. Mm-hmm. It's just too much. It's like... Because you could just be chilling and then, boom, there's a phone call. See ya.
It's so stressful.
Like, even when we were friends, you used to be stressed out. This one time I got a call, and you're like, what's going on? Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So you were having a hard time even when we were friends, much less.
Yeah, but I was, like, worried about your wife and your kids, too, And then, like, your wife was like, no, I completely stand by. I'm completely fine with him going. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, well, she's better than me. I wouldn't stand beside that. To your point.
Right.
No, I would say, no, I'm not good with this. Yeah.
Well, none of the guys, none of their wives were good with it. It's not about being good with it. It's there are certain things that are deal breakers.
Yeah.
And a lot of dudes, but that, like, for some of my friends, like, even when they stay and they say, all right, fine, I'm out, and this is the last, whatever. When they stay, that's the end of the relationship because there's so much resentment.
I was gonna say, yep.
And you turn on the news, something happens, and you're like, yeah, here I was, playing, mini golf.
Yep.
And like dudes are, so there's just so much resentment that they can't hack it. I was lucky because it ended up being for the kids. The kids were never saying, I mean, the very last time I had to go, they were like, yo, you can't go. And I'm like, I have to go. But, but like doing it for your kids is different than doing it for a wife who, because you work so hard to get to that level.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sacrifices that get made.
Yeah, I bet.
And then, yeah, and it's just like, come on, there's bigger things in the world than our little relationship. Like, what are you doing? And dudes just can't handle it. But I'm glad that I made a clean break before, me and you, like, because, that would have been a problem. But I'm just not gonna put our relationship in that situation. But, but at the same time, that there's part of me that's still, so there's...
Be honest. Do you ever have resentments toward me because of it?
No, not at all.
Are you sure?
No, because you had nothing to do with why I killed my contract and all that stuff. Like, you had no... I almost gotten... Yeah, you had nothing to do with that. That was really ultimately for the kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell the story, but I had to call you at 2 o'clock from places to go handle this because I was out of the country and something had happened with the kids, and so so
we weren't together at this time.
We weren't together. I was out of the country, engaged in other whatever, and then something happened with the kids and their mom and whatever, and I had to call her to. So at that time, I hung up the phone and they're like, yo, V, let's go. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, I said, this is my last one, guys. Like, I'm out. Like, yeah, or whatever. Well, you said before. So what I'm saying is, like, there's no fiction in between the two of us. Like, I know there are things that draw you, whatever, and I understand those things, and you don't need to know all the details, but you understand that, you understand certain things about me, and they wouldn't surprise you if they happened. You know what I mean? So, I always say, like, nobody surprises anybody, and this guy's particular... Why are you looking at me like that? You're looking like really...
I'm processing what you're saying.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm just... Wow.
Wow, what?
Well, just like what you last said. I mean, I don't want to say too much right here, but, like, you saying... Because I remember some of those conversations when you called me, and I didn't know that, like, it was you were ending a contract, and, like, I didn't know any of that, but just some of the things that you were saying, like, it was a very stressful situation.
What was?
When you called me, you sounded stressed.
Well, yeah, I was pretty stressed.
Well, yes, and I didn't know what was going on, so it's just weird to, like, look back at it now. Hindsight, I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
It's pretty stressful.
Because you didn't let on at all what was going on. I thought you were pushing papers.
All right, so the point is, but you a lot of dudes, like, outside of all that, a lot of dudes just have a relationship with their work.
Yeah.
And it's a real relationship, just like, it's like my bro, and they talk to you about it. Like, they said, one of the big pitfalls is that you marry the job instead of the person you married. Because there's some types of jobs that are very immersive, and then you get really obsessed. It's like, find that guy, and so, like, he's dealing with it. Like, So, I mean, it happens. But the point is that this guy, you know, she was a creation. She was something like a figment. That's why I always like, with us, it's like, that's why, especially I said in the first year, like, okay, like we're gonna do a lot of fighting in this, because I was struggling to see the real you and have you see the real me. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times in relationships, like people will put out these projections of who they are, because you know people won't accept the raw reality of the other person that they're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you experienced an authentic year, because it's extremely difficult blending families. It's not a joke, man. So
What do you mean you haven't experienced an authentic year?
Well, I mean, I haven't felt like myself the past year. I've been very stressed out. So, you know, you're saying, you know, you want to
that's authentic.
Well, that's authentic. Stressed out, Sori.
Yeah. How people react to stressful situations is an indicator of who they are as people. It's not the sum total, but it's an indicator. I don't think you handled it as bad as you think you did. We were, and that's one of the curses of being with me, is that it's always going to be stuff that normal people don't have to deal with. So, you know, there are some things that like every couple has to deal with, and there are other things that is not something every couple has to deal with, just because you're connected to me. That, you know. So, yeah. But you know, I think that's part of it. That's you realizing that if I am with this, you knew that there's some considerable price to pay to be with me. Unfortunately, I think you knew that at the beginning, didn't you? I just don't think. I think that you thought we were going to relate a certain way.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Right? So like the external prices you were good with, but you had assumptions about how we were going to be. And I told you, I'm like, that's not going to solve anything.
So fuck that, fuck you, fuck this, I don't care. We're going to be good. But then there was like stressors and I was like, really? Wait a minute. This is not what I was planning on.
The raw truth is, since we're being real here, when it's just me and you, it's perfect.
Yeah, but then when we get all the
minute you put the kids in the mix, it's a complete disaster. Well, not a complete disaster. We've grown, but it's definitely a source of tension.
It is.
Well, the guy said, you know, couples usually fight about kids, sex, and money, and we don't fight about money or sex, but we do fight about the kids.
Yep.
And it's like a real and it's crazy because we love them to death. It's not that. It's just.
Oh yeah.
You came up with a certain style of parenting. I have a certain philosophy of parenting, and then there's.
It's just completely different.
The clashes are crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but you know, but
like, speak your mind, say everything that's coming to you guys, and let me hear your heart. I'm like, no, just do it. I told you, you know what I mean? But it's weird because I'll say I'm like that, but then at the same time you'll be like, why do you let the kids argue with you?
Yeah. That's because my mind operates in a very nuanced way.
Yeah.
But you're a very black and white thinker.
Yeah.
And so that's where there's like, you know, that's where there's conflict. I am the speaker, but what is responsibility? This I beg of you, build me brick upon brick. See, he's depending on this girl to...
That's not good.
High tides, waves of hypocrisy. I beg of you, build me brick upon brick. And now he can't sleep. I like that line though. I didn't think the clock struck more than 12 times. I decided to name her Insomnia. That's a good line. That's a very, very good line. But
must be meaningful to you.
Well, you know, I'm trying. One of the things that's intrigued me about the channel is the way people react to certain things, and so I'm trying to see the balance of, okay, is there a healthy way to have a person build you up in a relationship? You know, build me up brick by brick, by brick. And there have been a lot of times when, you know, I've been down and you've built me up and I've been encouraged just being around you. You're my main source of encouragement. You've been my main source of encouragement for probably a decade. So it's like, okay, so that can't all be bad. But if the person is the only, if the person is the only well, the thing is, if you give all your bricks to one person, to build you up with, then what happens if they want to tear you down? Now they've got all the bricks. They can tear you down too. See what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I think I struggle with like mentally putting together the idea of reliance on a person in a relationship.
Yeah.
Versus reliance on God and how God is supposed to, kind of be your all in all. But at the same time, God said it's not good that man should be alone. And so, of course, you're going to have someone that helps you with your loneliness and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm having a hard time balancing out both of those realities because because I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I have to like rely so heavily on people. It gives me the ability to kind of get out of relationships very quickly and be done with it and really genuinely not feel anything about it because I never put that much into it in the first place, and I never gave all those bricks. You know,
Looks like you're giving bricks though, till you.
What? I give you bricks. Sharif, I gave a bunch of bricks.
Yeah, but people think that you're giving them bricks.
No, I'm talking about relationships now. I'm talking about like this type of...
Oh, okay.
My other relationship, I put all my bricks on the person and then I like slowly started to take them back because I was like...
let me...
I was like, this is not... I can see where this is going!
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so you used to be the type to put all your bricks there?
Well, I was a kid. I met her in high school.
That's true.
I was a child. You didn't... Trust me, B. You didn't want me...
Doing that.
No. You didn't want 17-year-old me. I know what you think. I know what you think it would have been like, but you trust me. This version of me is a lot better for you. I know you don't believe that, but it is. Believe you me.
You should tell me why.
Because as soon as 9/11 happened, I'd have done what I was going to do no matter how you felt.
Oh.
Whereas now, what you have to say about something is incredibly important. Back then, nobody could tell me nothing. So, that would have been that. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's an interesting song. It's something I think about. But, we're going to talk about this on our walk. There's a lot of questions I want to ask you off camera.
Yeah, and I have a question for you too. Anyway.
Can you cast me on camera or off camera?
No, it's better off.
Okay. Well, tell me in my ear so that you don't forget it. Because
Oh.
when we go to change and stuff,
So, I want to know. There's some questions about that, obviously. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. There's ways to answer that and not answer that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because that's what I'm going to do. All right. Well, what do you give the song?
Jeez. Oh man.
Fear.
Oh, I liked the sound of it. I was forgetting what it sounded like.
Fear,
It's such a long
beauty.
conversation.
Hold on. Why do you think he says fear, beauty, though?
Because, well, my assumption is she was probably beautiful, but then, like, that like, it, like, slighted the way he was, like, looking at the situation because he was taken by her beauty, and then, eventually, beauty gets old. Like, it doesn't matter how beautiful a person is, like.
Yeah, I don't think that you're ever gonna not be beautiful. No, seriously, like, remember when we were watching Wakanda Forever? What's that?
Panther?
Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then you saw the Queen Mother, she's like 65, and she was like, she was aged, you could tell it, but she was still kind of like that. You're gonna be like that. I was like, oh, Sori's gonna be like that. But you are, though. What?
Well, I don't feel like that, but when you say it, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear.
You have no understanding of like what your actual body is. It's ridiculous. Like we were at the Target today, and the lady was like, "Oh, you're all baby."
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, I'm so fat, blah, blah, blah. You're rather large.
Look at that Instagram photo he put out there.
Yeah, Zonia.
Oh my gosh,
Did you see
babe.
Zonia?
Can't you try to get a good angle?
Zonia texted me and she said, I was checking on you to make sure that you were, that Sori hasn't locked you into the basement or something for posting that photo of her to the entire village yesterday.
Yeah, see, Zonia gets it.
That's ridiculous.
I was like, I went on.
You posed for the picture.
That's because I didn't know what I looked like. And then
You looked awesome.
I didn't look awesome.
You looked pregnant. What the hell? I thought you looked awesome. I mean,
looked like
I'll take it down.
Michelin Man. No, leave it. Now that we bring it up,
you're
people
so
want to see
worried about
I
what
was
other
like-
people's opinions.
it. Pulled up Instagram. I'm like,
It was so cute. What are you talking about? It was hard. You were like, honestly, the cutest pregnant person I've seen.
no,
in my
I look
life.
like a marshmallow that's sitting.
What do you mean? You look pregnant. It's so pretty. This is not cute. You wouldn't look at this and be like, that girl is cute. Look, oh my gosh.
No.
Look at that.
It just looks like.
You are ridiculous. And you're consuming. There's all your food around you because you love to eat.
Because I couldn't figure out what I wanted and I was picking through all that stuff.
Consume.
Yeah, but it just. I mean, if you're standing, it doesn't look as bad.
Consume.
Anyway.
Consume.
You're terrible. All right, babe.
Consume.
I'm gonna give it.
Consume. Consume.
I think I'm gonna give it a 9.
She likes to
I
eat,
liked
get
it.
Consume. She's a rather large woman.
What do you give it, babe?
This is a song I liked sonically more than lyrically. Sonically, I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. Lyrically, I thought it was all right. Yeah, would you give it?
No, I wouldn't have been 9.
8.7. 8.7. It was a good song. I really like the. I wish they would have actually done it like 45 seconds longer because I love the keyboards and how they did that music. It was like really inspiring. So yeah, shout out to the big homie Chris Culp. We got to get back on our Madden game, big homie. Remember that little stretch of Madden I had when I became like in the top 10 percentile?
Yeah.
Wasn't it top 10 percentile?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
You probably do that again when Orion comes.
Oh, that's true, and he can watch me play video games.
He's not gonna watch it. He's looking at his mom.
Absolutely gonna. I'm gonna sit him in his little chair. And
You're not sitting in no damn chair. I'm gonna be holding
He's
him.
gonna be looking at the thing and like, watch Daddy kill this guy on
I'm
this
gonna
post.
overhold him.
On this post. All right, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.
Right,